Michael Bloomberg said he could not win nationally, so is he only running to stop Bernie Sanders? Multi-billionaire Michael Bloomberg was torched in the recent NBC presidential debate, but he suffered his worst burns from Senator Elizabeth Warren and Senator Bernie Sanders, who both went after his record on the alleged mistreatment of women in his employ and refusal to release women who had sued his company from their non-disclosure agreement so they can tell their truths. Senator Sanders went after Bloomberg for his racist comments and lies concerning the stop and frisk policy in New York City when he was mayor that targeted Black and Latino young men and teens. However, a video has been unearthed that was recorded by Bermuda Broadcasting in March of 2019 at a forum where the former NYC mayor stated that he could not win a national campaign unless he changed his political views and embarked on an apology tour. In a very arrogant manner, Bloomberg took shots at Joe Biden for apologizing for the 1994 crime bill, which Biden never did, and was just defending the harsh legislation last year. And Bloomberg also took shots at former presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke, whom Bloomberg said apologized for being born.
But it's just not going to happen on a national level for somebody like me starting where I am, unless I was willing to change all my views and go on what CNN called an apology tour. Joe Biden went out and apologized for being male, over 50, white. He apologized for the one piece of legislation, which is actually a pretty good anti-crime bill, which if the liberals ever read it, most of the things they like would be is in that bill. They should have loved that, but they never even bothered to read it. You're anti-crime, you must be anti-populist. And so everybody else, Beto, or whatever his name is, he's apologized for being born.
Based on the 2019 clip of Bloomberg stating he would have to change his views in order to have a shot at becoming POTUS, does anyone today really trust that he has really changed his views? Or is he more likely to be saying what he thinks Democrats want to hear? He is running a very dishonest campaign with adverts featuring former President Obama saying nice things about him, giving the appearance that Obama has endorsed him, which he has not. Could you imagine the accusations of fraud that would be thrown at the Sanders campaign if they used a video clip of Barack Obama endorsing Sanders in his 2006 Senate run in a campaign advertisement in 2020?
I think people are ready for a call to action. They want to move forward. They want to have honest leadership who cares about them, who thinks about them first, who isn't going down to Washington so that they can get a bunch of fancy steak dinners and have doors open for them and drive around in limousines and buy fancy suits, which you know you don't have to worry about with Bernie. Where do you get that suit, man? Right off the rack. That's not what they want. They want somebody who's going to fight for them. Somebody who's going to say, you know what? Let's have a prescription drug plan that's written on behalf of the people of America instead on behalf of the prescription drug companies. Why don't we try something like that? Let's have a budget that reflects our values and our priorities, that doesn't cut veteran spending even as we claim to be patriotic, that doesn't end up cutting student loans at the same time as you say you want to promote higher education and increase competitiveness for the United States. How about an administration and a Congress that insists on a foreign policy that is both tough and smart? Since right now we've got a party that has the monopoly on the tough, dumb foreign policy strategy. That's what people are looking for. And they will find it in Bernie, and they'll find it in Peter. You will find it in these two gentlemen back here. And you don't have to take my word for it because you know these guys. You've seen what they do.
What if Bernie Sanders, whose domestic policies align with the democratic socialism expressed by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., used the beloved civil rights icon in a 2020 campaign ad?
We must also realize that the problems of racial injustice and economic injustice cannot be solved without a radical redistribution of political and economic power.
We read one day, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But if a man doesn't have a job or an income, he has neither life nor liberty and the possibility for the pursuit of happiness. He merely exists. Estimated that we spend $322,000 for each enemy we kill in Vietnam, while we spend in the so-called war on poverty in America only about $53 for each person classified as poor. The promises of the Great Society have been shot down on the battlefield of Vietnam, making the poor, white and Negro, bear the heaviest burdens both at the front and at home.
Bernie Sanders' black supporters more than likely would support such a campaign ad featuring Dr. King, and glad the campaign has mentioned Dr. King and what he fought for. But then there is the risk that black pundits like MSNBC's Joy Ann Reid and Dr. Jason Johnson would attack Sanders relentlessly, just as a few black women at an event featuring Reid childishly accused Sanders in 2016 of using his involvement in the civil rights movement as pandering to black people. Bloomberg obviously has an integrity problem, and in addition to being one of the most unauthentic candidates to jump in the race, like Biden in a previous run for the nomination, Bloomberg's campaign has been caught creating plans on his platform that have been plagiarized. If Michael Bloomberg said he could not win in 2019, why is he running in the Democratic primary? As another person observed, Bloomberg, who has run as a Republican, has endorsed Republicans, and has donated to Republican campaigns, would have a better shot if he had run against Donald Trump in the Republican primary. Since he has no realistic path to the Democratic nomination, one has to assume that Bloomberg is in the race to do one thing, and that is to stop Sanders. Considering how Bloomberg is racking up endorsements from establishment black Democrats and those he has donated money to their causes, it would appear that the strategy is to stop Sanders by depriving him of black support, which he has gained in recent weeks and is now a front runner in national polls with black voters. Only time will tell if Bloomberg's strategy will be successful as the primaries and caucuses move to more diverse states. This has been Scotty Reed with a Black Talk Radio News Report, reminding you to support our grassroots black media operations with a tax-deductible donation to the Black Talk Media Project and Black Talk Radio Network.